Infinity War is one of my favorite movies ever made. It had so many characters that we all know and love coming together at last. This movie should have been a mess. It took 10 years and 17 films to build up to this point, and there were like 50 main characters. We were waiting years for Thanos to finally arrive, and the longer we waited, the harder it would be to care about someone like that. How are we supposed to care about a villain we hardly even know in a movie like this? Well, the Russo brothers wrote him perfectly. They made Thanos into a very sophisticated villain. The reason for him being evil made so much sense, and we had to care about him. He had morals, he was interesting, he was everything we wanted in a good villain. The end of this movie surprised everyone. Most of the heroes died, leaving the remaining heroes angry and confused. We get one final scene of Thanos looking out at the sunset, and the movie ends. What would happen next? Well, that will be revealed next year. I was so excited for Avengers 4. From that moment, I left the theater. I just could not wait. I just couldn't wait to find out how the fallen heroes would return, and neither could anyone else. Over the next few months, I started thinking of my own plots for the movie. I started watching YouTube videos and theories for it, like Screen Rant and stuff. Don't watch them, they're just so bad, yeah. I was so pumped. My excitement never left. If anything, it just increased. What made the movie so interesting was how little to nothing was revealed about it. We didn't even know what the title was until like 4 months before it came out. When we finally learned the title, I wasn't very impressed. We all suspected that the title was going to be Endgame from the beginning, and the Russo brothers said that Endgame wasn't the title. It was obvious that they just got lazy at the last second and decided to make it Endgame because they couldn't think of anything else. The title doesn't even make that much sense because there's still going to be more MCU films coming in the future, so it's not really the end. But I could get past the crappy title as long as the movie was good. 4 months later, the movie finally came to theaters. I pre-ordered tickets 2 weeks in advance and brought 2 of my friends with me. When the day finally came, I had class to deal with and could not handle that movie being spoiled during class. So I walked into class with earplugs and headphones on, and I kept doing that whenever my teachers weren't talking, like when I was in the hallways and stuff. I kept my phone on airplane mode all day just to make sure I wouldn't get any notifications about the movie saying like Iron Man died and stuff. When the class day finally ended, my mom had to drive me and my friends to the theater early because she had something else to do on that night. We had like 4 hours of waiting in the theater before the movie started, so we decided to watch Shazam to kill some time. I watched Shazam a few weeks before and I loved the movie, so I thought it would be fun to watch it again. And it was just as enjoyable the second time, and it hyped up Endgame for us even more. Then the moment finally came. The theater was packed and the movie was starting. The moment had arrived after a year of waiting. 3 hours later, I booed the movie for not having an end credit scene and ran to the bathroom. Because, I got the large soda and like an idiot, and I had to pee since like halfway through. While I was peeing, I thought to myself, did I like that? Then I thought, if I'm even asking myself that question, then I probably didn't like it at all. I walked out the theater with my head hung low, and then complained about it the entire car ride home. The next morning, I gave it a 0.5-star rating on Rotten Tomatoes and wrote a really long review stating all my problems with the movie. It took me like 2 hours. Since then, I found out so much more wrong about it. The biggest problem is that I'm like the only one that feels this way. The only other person I know that hates this movie as much as I do is my dad. Everyone else loves this movie. I'm so done with that piece of garbage being praised. I know I haven't explained why I hate this movie yet, but that's just because I need to explain to you how excited I was for this movie and how it just disappointed me this much at the end. And I've seen a lot of really bad movies. Like, in 8th grade, I just forced myself to watch all these horrible movies. I thought it was funny. Watched Food Fight, I watched Garbage Pail Kids, Jaws 4. I watched so many, they're terrible. But I think that Avengers Endgame is the worst movie ever. I'm dead serious. I think this is the worst one ever made. So I'm going to make more videos on this subject. Hopefully it won't be 3 hours long, but at least you'll be able to pause it and go to the bathroom. Thank you for watching. I'll make part 2 very soon.